Hey everybody, I'm going to try and take a little video of this Rational Wave software because the demo mode did not function very well. So here I have it hooked up to the BB60C, Signal Hound BB60C. I can set the frequency range to the range that the SDR allows. Hit scan if my button works. There it goes. So, we're seeing whatever we'd see on the BB60C. I don't like the zooming function here. It kind of zooms the whole screen rather than zooming into the frequency. So I find that to be a little awkward. This auto Y scale helps get it back to size. So some of the things that we were looking at. So the monitored frequencies and monitored bands, I took out the defaults that were in there and put in my own. So here, and of course, every time you change modes, it stops scanning. So now I have, under frequencies, I put in a couple of frequencies for some wireless mics I have and a walkie-talkie or something. If I hit scan, so the lower one here, this is just monitoring a local FM station, the only one I can pick up in my basement. The threshold here is adjustable. You drag and drop. So if I put the threshold there, now this is turning red, showing that this has, the FM station has crossed the threshold. Move it up a little bit. And now I'll turn on one of my units. There's a walkie-talkie. So while it transmits, it goes red on the timeline, which is, you can decide what you think might be useful features. And the other microphone. This is losing its battery power, but there it is. Stop that. Switch over to monitored bands. So here you can create your own band that you want to look at. I put in one for DECT, 49 megahertz, wireless mics, and I left the Wi-Fi unchecked. You can, it won't be monitoring that if it's unchecked. So now again, I turn on. Oh, I didn't hit scan. You got to hit scan. Okay. So now it's looking. Got that. So if a signal pops up in a specific, band you're looking at, you're going to get that little reading there. Back to spectrum, and down here at the bottom is waterfall, is by default. So the waterfall's there. We're looking at the whole range. Density is like persistence. Of course, when you're this wide, you don't see much of a difference. Threshold, you can adjust the level, and then you'll see it turns red where the signals pop over the threshold. And the delta is the interesting one that's kind of a math trace. So now at this full range, it doesn't seem as applicable, but I will change this. Let's go to something. Well, if I did 400 to 600 megahertz, just as an example. And I have one microphone in this range. So we're looking at the waterfall density. Still, the persistence stuff doesn't look too good. So now I turn on the mic. You see it here. So this really might work if you're really zoomed in. May not be that useful otherwise. Threshold. Again, all it does is it highlights the green area below. A little awkward. But now, so here's the delta thing. Now when I turn on the mic, it shows up just as like a math trace would on the Oscar. So this might be useful, particularly if you're looking at a specific set of frequencies that you want to monitor. So it might have some application. Some of the other features, the intensity, adjust the range of what you're looking at in the waterfall. You can turn off the traces, choose the one you want. The markers was the thing I mentioned. If turn off this, it'll still mark the frequency, but it doesn't put the little orange dot there. So it's kind of awkward because every time you go hitting the screen and you're trying to do something. See there, I zoomed in, but what good is that? I have to, if I go over here, I can kind of make some changes on one side or the other. Go back here, auto scale. You can do a little bit of sliding on the scale too this way. You have to play with that a little bit. Anyway, that is the Rational Wave software. And so I found out they also have this $150 SDR that works with this, which from the factory, it only goes up to 3,800 megahertz. But on the Rational Waves website, they have a tweak that'll take this $150 SDR and put it up to 6 gigahertz. So there may be some application for in-place monitoring or some specific application.